Hello! Happy Halloween weekend. Take a look at how or where writers start new paragraphs in narrative. So I have a student sample here, and I'm going to read through it and make slash marks where new paragraphs could be started. And we might do this more than one time to show you that there aren't any hard and fast rules when you're paragraphing narrative. So 4 things to remember when you're thinking about paragraphing narrative writing. Our writers typically break new paragraphs in order to create certain effects. Longer paragraphs create a slower pace. Shorter paragraphs create a faster pace. They might break into a new paragraph when time shifts or when there's a shift in the action, when there's a shift in place, or when speakers change. Those are all appropriate places to begin new paragraphs. Satyen Trivedi, there it was, his name, printed at the top of the list in dark black letters, bold enough to be seen from a mile away. He couldn't believe this was happening after all of his hard work. He woke up to a start. It was just a dream. Nevertheless, today was the day that Satyen Trivedi would receive the news on whether he'd passed the civil services exam. After the long and grueling process of the 2-week-long written exam, the tiring interview and the intensive medical exams, it felt as though everything had been leading up to this moment. So when I think about just up to this point, I see a lot of things that the writer could do to break up the paragraphs. So we might have a paragraph break right here, separating the italics, the dream, from the waking. So the character or the outlier, Trivedi, wakes up and has a realization that he will receive exam results that day. So notice this word after. So after he has the realization, I can then make that another paragraph starting at after, and this describes the testing moment. And he's talking about the actual test and how many people pass or not. So I might break the paragraph again right after he considers that. When his action changes, he sharply inhales, right? And then he must say to himself, "This is it," he confidently proclaimed. And with that statement of finality, he went to retrieve the morning paper where he would learn what the future held for him. Time seemed to slow. So I would, he went to get the paper there. That's another paragraph. So all of these slash marks and this backward kind of paragraph symbol, that's where I would break paragraphs here. So notice these last 2 lines in the first section. Time seemed to slow as he scanned the list for his name, Arjun Agarwal. Everything's going to be fine. Vihan Patel. Just calm down. There's still plenty of names to go. Satyen Trivedi. Take a deep breath. Wait. He read that name again and again. He traced out the letters with his finger, pinching himself just to make sure this wasn't another dream. Paragraph. He had done it. He passed. Now here I'm not sure. Let me highlight that part right here. I might put those 2 very short sentences in one paragraph by themselves, just to emphasize them. But I probably would play around with that if I was the writer. And not only that, he'd also been one of the highest scoring people, meaning he would be eligible for a prominent position. Before even taking a second more to process the news, he received a phone call from his parents. So that could be another paragraph there. And then you see the mom is talking, so that's a paragraph break. You did it. Smiling modestly, he's thinking in his head. And then his father speaks. We're so proud of you. And then he replies, I couldn't have done it without you, he admitted. And then this would be another paragraph, his reflection. And from the bottom of his heart, he meant it. As a child, he had watched his father courageously fight for India's freedom, and it had inspired a lifelong desire to get involved in public service. After hearing his dad's acknowledgement of his accomplishment, his heart swelled with pride, and for the first time since he heard the news, he allowed himself to process the information. Satyen couldn't help the relief that enveloped his body as a wide grin spread across his face. He had done it. I might set that off again and say he had done it and have that be a single paragraph. His dream had literally come true. He didn't know what the future held for him. He didn't even know what job he would get. But from that moment on, he knew he was on the track to success. So look at how many paragraphs this writer could include in their narrative to keep a lively pace and to create some emphasis here with extremely short sentence paragraphs. So, 4 things to remember. Create a new paragraph when time changes, when action changes, when place changes, or with new speakers.